Hello, everyone. Welcome to Rockcast, the rock theme podcast by rock fans for rock fans. I'm Brody.
I am Brendan.
And today, before we get started, today's episode is sponsored by Coke Zero Sugar. Same classic Coke taste, no sugar, no calories. All right, just kidding. In case you didn't notice, there's a new logo made by the person sitting right there. Thank him for that. It's awesome. And I say we just get into this. I got my Foo Fighters shirt on. I'm ready. New album comes out tonight at like 9 o'clock maybe. Miles was going to be a part of this, but Miles is kind of being Miles. And also, he doesn't know enough about Foo Fighters to discuss them for a whole podcast. He'd sit here and be like, my favorite song's Pretender. And I mean, I kind of like Everlong, but besides that, I mean, everything else hit and miss for me. Like that's
he might join later, and then he can just agree with everything you say.
Like with the Weezer album, he's like,
yeah,
I haven't listened to it.
Yeah, I haven't listened to it. Yeah, it's a great album.
Pretty
you know?
good.
It's pretty good.
So got some fun stuff. This is kind of like this isn't gonna be like a full podcast like last episode and what the next episode is gonna be. This is more just a shorter, specific band centric podcast where we rank the albums, do our favorite songs, talk about what we want from the album to get hyped up for the album being released, tomorrow. I say we just get straight into it and do the tier list, like immediately. I think that's the first thing we should do.
Sounds good.
And here it is right here. I don't know. This one that I pulled up has Saint Cecilia and Skin and Bones for some reason, but we can ignore those.
Just ignore. Well, do you ignore Saint Cecilia? Are you counting that as? Would that be like considered? Because I mean, it's technically it was new music. It wasn't like Skin and Bones.
It's an EP, yes.
Yeah.
I'll consider it. I'll consider it.
We'll just save it for the end and see how we feel.
I think we have the same 3 albums in S tier. Debut, Color in the Shape, and Wasting Light, right? We agree on those?
Yeah. Yes.
I'll just move those up right now. And Nothing Left to Lose, right? I think those 4 are the S tier albums. Those are the 4 albums that everyone should listen to when they're starting. But which way do they rank? Wasting Light
in the S. I would honestly probably put it as. That's probably me too. Personally, I think I like Color in the Shape more than Nothing Left to Lose.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
They're pretty close. I'd say all 4 albums are close enough that on any given day I could put this one at number 1 and I could move this to number 1 too. It depends on what mood I'm in. Right now, Wasting Light goes number 1 for sure.
Wasting Light is number 1 for sure.
These 2, I don't think anything gets lower than B, right? Does anything get lower for B than you? Like for you? Would you? I would put One by One in C.
I would maybe put. I don't know. I think Sonic Highways might go in C.
I would put One by One in C specifically for the production alone. Well, there are good songs on it. The production makes it hard to listen to sometimes.
A little bit, yeah.
In Your Honor, B. Too much filler.
It's quite a long album.
It's a double album. Of it. Oh, what were you saying?
Yeah, and a lot of it is it's a lot of stuff that you could skip and you wouldn't really have missed much.
Unlike Stadium Arcadium, which is a double album where you have to listen to everything. And then One by One over Sonic Highways. I think we both agree Sonic Highways is the weakest, right?
Yes.
Echo Silence is hard to place for me.
I think it's a solid A. I mean, probably I would say other than maybe Everlong and My Hero, their most iconic song, Pretender.
And I mean, it has some other great songs. It has one that's on my top 10 list. And Concrete and Gold is harder to place for me than Echo Silence because it's an album that I like, but I feel like it falls into even though it's shorter, in my opinion, it falls into the same trap as In Your Honor as having a little too much filler. It's
That is true. I mean, it has probably one of my in top 5 songs, "Sky Is a Neighborhood" on that album, but
it just, I don't know, it doesn't. I don't
a
think
lot of the songs I think do sound very similar to one another. I think that's one of the things that
a
lot of them are very Run
is in my top like couple. I didn't put it on the list. I forgot that Concrete and Gold existed when I made mine, but I don't know, it's in my top 20 at least. And Arrows is really good. The Line is fantastic, but I just feel like the rest of the album becomes sort of forgettable. And the production, One by One's production is just not good. Concrete and Gold's production is too poppy for a Foo Fighters album, in my opinion. And I feel like Medicine at Midnight could fall into that trap as well, which I'm nervous, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on with my throat. Okay, so Concrete and Gold B?
Yeah, I think it's a solid B.
Above In Your Honor, right?
Above In Your Honor, definitely.
And then Saint Cecilia, B below In Your Honor, or I don't know. That one's another hard one. I don't know if we should even rank that one. Because are you really going to listen to Saint Cecilia over anything on here? I mean, it's an EP. Are you really going to choose?
I would maybe, if you were to put it on the list, I would maybe put it in C in between Sonic Highways and One by One.
Okay. Skin and Bones A. I'm just putting it on there because it's there. Skin and Bones A. It's good. It's very good. All right.
Well, we can just ignore those two then. That's just a joke.
I'll move them back down. I can't move them back down. They go D. They're bad. D for I don't feel like ranking them. I think that's solid. There's some tweaking we could do. Like I'm tempted to move Color in the Shape up one because it's Color in the Shape. It has, like, if we're ranking it on iconic songs, it'd go Color in the Shape, Echoes, One by One. It's top 3 for most iconic songs because, like, One by One has Times Like These All My Life. This one has Pretender, and of course, it's number 1 with My Hero, Everlong, and Monkey Wrench. And There's Nothing Left to Lose has Learn to Fly, and this has Walk, These Days. So I feel like I'd probably agree with you there and put Color in the Shape above Nothing Left to Lose, I think. But I think that's pretty solid. I could just to even it out more. I could do that. Because it's like,
I think that's fair.
It's tail end.
Yeah, the one thing, which I mean, that's kind of part of its charm, but the debut album, I feel like the production value is probably, which I mean, I get why it's like that.
Yeah, and it
was, and that's part of its like story, its charm and whatnot. But I feel like from just like if you didn't know anything about these albums and you listen to them all, I feel like that one would probably be placed a little lower just because of the production value.
Yeah. Same with I feel like it falls into, although the songs are better written and there's less filler than One by One, it falls into, and I mean, it's basically just demos. Like, it's not I don't consider it a completed album. Not to say it's not a Foo Fighters album, because it is, but I don't consider it like completed. It very much feels like a collection of rough demos that Dave was cooking up, which it pretty much is. It does have one of my favorite songs on it, which I'll talk about when we get to the favorite songs. But I think A is a good place to put it. But One by One's production is like inexcusable. They were huge at that point. They shouldn't have made an album that sounds that rough, when they're, and I get it was in that time period of the loudness wars, which a lot of Chili Peppers albums fell into that same trap. But I mean, it just, I don't know. I think that's my ranking, and I feel like you agree with me probably.
Yeah. Also, I think with One by One, I think didn't they say that? I think maybe this could have something to do with the production value. Is that toward like at the very end of their producing it, they re-recorded all the songs in like a week.
It
So
was
I don't know.
so what happened was they spent $1 million to record demos for a bunch of songs on the album, and they all, they were probably supposed to be final versions at some point because they're not going to spend $1 million on demos, but they're
Yeah.
called the $1 million demos by fans, and they sound like complete dog shit. The performances aren't there. They don't sound like a band.
Well, I think that was also because that was like the time that there was a lot of like the infighting,
the tension.
Yeah.
Taylor Hawkins was pissed at Dave for going and playing with Queens of the Stone Age. It's a whole story, but basically they made those $1 million demos, and then they went back, re-recorded all of it, and it sounds better than the demos, but it still doesn't sound very good. But the songs, I feel, save it from, because it's better than these two. I feel like if the song quality wasn't as good as it is, just from the production, if it was just like a meh album, it would definitely be D. But because it has All My Life, Times Like These, Low, stuff like that, it automatically, for me, C.
I think that's fair.
And then, I mean, we don't really have to talk about these three. Wasting Light is a masterpiece, in my opinion. Like, it's very good.
I would agree with that.
Times Like These. Nothing Left to Lose is very good. I think that's all we have to say about them. Do you want to say anything about Sonic Highways? I kind of just forget it exists.
It's a very forgettable album in my opinion.
I think
so. I honestly haven't listened to it in a long time, so I couldn't really tell you much about it. But based on the fact that I don't remember much about it, I think that tells you.
Well, there's like 3 songs I remember on the whole album. I have it on vinyl, but I think part of the reason why we say that, I've heard a lot of people who didn't like the album when it came out, but then they watched the documentary, which was them making the album, and apparently if you watch that, it gives context and makes the album more enjoyable. I don't think anything can really make the album more enjoyable, in my opinion, like even a documentary. Like,
I think I'd have to, I might watch the documentary depending on how long it is and if I have time, and then I'll try it out. But
it's like
other than that, it was pretty forgettable for me.
I think it's a mini series, and it's one part for every song, which shows them making it. I know the story. They recorded each of the songs.
Yeah, I think I've seen some of those on YouTube. They have like the 15, 20 minute like little snippets of like the behind the scenes, the production of certain songs.
Yeah, that's what it is. But I mean, I don't know. And then Skin and Bones, I don't know why they put it on this thing, but it's a great live album, and I think it's up there. If we're considering live albums in this. But I think that's it. That's the ranking for me.
I would agree with that.
And that's it for the tier list. I think we just move on to our favorite songs. Do you want to go I know, you don't have a list, right?
No, I don't, but I can pretty much just make it on the fly.
It's not hard. Well, we can go one. I gotta name a song, you name a song, or whatever, if you want to stretch it out.
How are we doing? Top 10 or?
Yeah, let's do top 10.
Do you want to start with our 10th or first?
10 to 1. 10 to 1. So I'll go first.
All right.
Well, number 10. I mean, not much to talk about with these songs. They're my favorites because they're good. But number 10, I have Ain't It the Life. I'm gonna screw that. All right, Ain't It the Life. I don't know. I feel like it's just, there's a lot of what I was talking about with my favorite albums back there, saying why they're my favorites. A lot of those songs are on this list, and it's mostly consistent of those. Anything past like B tier, I don't think made it onto this list at all. But I mean, and I put a lot of slow songs on here for some reason, and Ain't It the Life is one of them. It's just, don't know. It's just a good vibe song. I don't know a better way to put it. Just throw on some headphones and listen to this song, and it's very good. Yeah.
So for mine, my 10th, I feel like I would probably put Dear Rosemary from Wasting Light.
That one's really good.
I think that's one that I think, especially on Wasting Light, I think it's kind of underrated based on the album.
Yeah, I slept on it. I slept on it on the list, but it's definitely one of like it's in my top 20 at least. It's very good.
Yeah, I think that might be my 10th.
Yeah. I mean, with a band like Foo Fighters, it's easier for me to pick a top 10 than a band, say like, I mean, Pearl Jam because they're my favorite and I like talking about them. But it's easier for me to pick a top 10 from Foo Fighters. However, it's still extremely difficult because I feel like I'm leaving stuff off and then I put that in and I'm like, but is it really better than the song that I replaced it? And I don't know. It's just hard for me to do top tens. And it's hard for me to rank albums too in general because I just like, I mean, unless it's someone like Nirvana, I could easily rank their albums.
Well, because they
like,
only have 3.
Yeah.
So.
And I know which one's my favorite and I know which one's my least favorite. So that kind of leaves one in the middle.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it's just hard. I guess I'll just go on to 9. I put a song that it had a music video. I think it was a single, but it just, I don't know. Foo Fighters fans kind of forget about it. I never really hear them talk about it. But I put Long Road to Ruin as my number 9. It's always just been one of my favorite Foo Fighters songs. I don't know. There's something about it. Brendan's guinea pig pictures. Is that?
Oh yes, because my iPad's almost dead.
Oh shit. Yeah, no, it's definitely. I mean, Long Road to Ruin's great. I like it. That's all I have to say about it. It's always been one of my favorites. I mean, do you want to pick a number 9?
I think Breakout might be my number 9. That I know that's for sure in my top 10. I can, just because I'm making it on the fly. After I'm gonna start writing them down, and towards the end I can rearrange them if I want. But I think Breakout is probably my number 9 at the moment.
Speaking of Breakout, that happens to be my number 8, so that kind of worked out. I mean, great music video and great song, and I really like it. I don't know, just something about it. It's one of those Foo Fighters songs that, like, you know, it's just a bop. That's the best way to describe it. Like, it's a stupid way to describe it, but it's just like a full-on bop. And live, is great. I miss concerts. I'm gonna say that so many times until COVID's over, but I miss concerts a lot. But yeah, Breakout is a very good song.
So are we on to 8 now?
Yeah, that was 8.
All right. So for my number 8, and it's kind of an odd choice to be in my top 10, but Doll from
Doll? Really?
I really like Doll for some reason. I don't know why. I feel like it's such a good way to start an album.
Would you rank it Doll into Monkey Wrench, or would you just rank Doll as its own song?
I would probably rank it Doll into Monkey Wrench, and then Monkey Wrench would probably be my 7th.
Yeah. Doll, I mean, it's a good opening song, and it sets the Doll into Monkey Wrench sets the theme for Color in the Shape as being just like, oh, we're gonna do this really slow song, and then the very next song will just be something that completely kicks your ass, and then we'll go back to like a slow ballad, and then like a weird acoustic song, and then another fucking rock, like hardcore song, and then the album. I mean, it's just how, I don't know, that's just how I feel like the album plays out, and Doll is the perfect way to start it. Okay, yeah. Then my number 7, I got screwed up there because I thought we mixed it up. All right, 7, No, something off Color and the Shape. I mean, you have to have Everlong on your list. Like it's one of those Foo Fighters songs that even though like their most popular, one of their most popular, it like you can't not have Everlong on your list. It's just, I mean, it's iconic, and it's the song that really got me into the band. It was one of the first songs I heard by them, and yeah, still one of my favorites.
I think so. For number 7, yeah. So I did Doll. I guess Fading into Monkey Wrench. Should I count that as both like Doll into Monkey Wrench number 7?
Doll and Monkey Wrench is 8. Doll and Monkey Wrench is 8. Is the same,
right.
like same song.
All right. So on to my 7th. So I would probably say. So wait, so I'm on 8 then?
No, you're on 7 because Doll and Monkey Wrench is 8. So you had your 10 was
All right, so I'm on 7. So
yeah.
So for 7 or 8. 7. Yes, I'm stupid. So I'm gonna do kind of not really a twist, but I would probably say I definitely prefer the acoustic version of Everlong to the electric version. So, and I mean, I know it's not on like a studio album, but I would definitely put that, at least for me, above the original version.
Yeah, I used to agree with that, but upon re-listening to the regular version of Everlong, it's so perfect in my, like, it feels like, I don't know, the acoustic version is amazing, and they're about the same level of quality, but there's just something about the electric. I don't know, just the way that it works out and flows. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but I love the electric version. I'm going to stay on Color and the Shape for 6, February Stars. It is just a beautiful, beautiful fucking song. And let's see. Yeah, I think that's one of the last like real slow songs that I put on my top 10, and it's definitely my favorite like slower Foo Fighters song. And it's I don't know, I'm not very good at explaining why something's my favorite unless it's like an album. With an album I can explain why it's my favorite, but with a song it just kind of like, yeah, it's good, listen to it. That's all I can say. February Stars, number 6.
I think for number 6, I think I would also put February Stars. That's probably my favorite of their slowest songs, besides maybe These Days. I really like These Days.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, even that, it's kind of a slow song, but it transitions into like a fast, more.
That's why, I mean, of course, we're both going to have towards the top. I don't know where you're going to place it, but Walk, I don't consider that a slow song because it starts just like These Days. It starts slower pace, but then Walk, more than These Days, like full on kicks in. So I'm not considering that a slow song, but yeah.
But yeah, February Stars is probably my number 6.
Number 5. I'm gonna mix this up a little bit. Number 5 and 4 are weird choices, but they're 2 of my favorites. Number 5, I'm gonna go Stacked Actors because it kicks so much ass. It's definitely, it's gotta be my favorite opening song on any Foo Fighters album. Like, it just, I don't know, it kicks so much ass. It's just so good. It's Stacked Actors, so good.
I think that's a pretty good choice. I kind of forgot about Stacked Actors. I think that would probably be like the 11 on my list, like the honorary top 10, or like honorable mention.
Yeah.
So we're down to 5 now. I would probably. Let me think about that.
It's hard, like especially at the top 5. Like the bottom 5. I think
my 5th would probably be Sky is a Neighborhood.
Okay.
Solid middle of the road, because that's always been one of my favorite songs. Just the it's very bluesy, and just the vocals on it are also really good. Mm-hmm. I just like that kind of bluesy rock. It's got the 0303.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Skies and Neighborhood's good, but so that was your number 5, right?
Yeah, that's my
Yeah,
number 5.
that's a pretty safe choice for number 5. I'm gonna number 4 is about to get a little wacky, and I know you're probably not gonna agree with it, even like this touching the top 5, or it may touch. I don't know. It may be in your top 5. I am sporting my self-titled album shirt, and my number 4 is Watershed. I'm serious.
That's an interesting choice off that album.
And I was tempted to put it at number 3. I was even tempted to put it at number 2, but I held off and pushed it to 4. Watershed, favorite song on self-titled. I can't understand what the hell Dave Grohl's saying, but it's just so good. Like, I don't know. It's up there. And I like, when I make a top 10 list, I like throwing a couple little deep cuts up there that people don't really know. But Watershed, it's a toss up between, picking a song for the first album, Watershed and For All the Cows. It's really a toss up between those two, but I think Watershed comes out with the win.
Mm-hmm. So for my number 4, I would probably say These Days, going back to the slow songs, These Days I think is a safe number 4 for me.
Yeah.
That was I think until I heard Walk, because I hadn't listened to the entirety of that album at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I had heard These Days was the first song off that album that I had heard.
Yeah.
So that was, and up until I heard Walk, which was like one of the last songs off that album that I actually listened to, These Days was like definitely my number 1 off that. And like I said, I heard Walk, and that would definitely beat out These Days for me.
These Days is really good. That'd probably be my number 11, like you said about Stacked Actors. And I was really tempted to put Bridge Burning on here because that's one of my favorite songs off Wasting Light 2. And even, going back to the wacky loud songs like Watershed, I was tempted to put White Limo on here too, but I didn't do it. But I'm going to stick with here's my thing with Foo Fighters. Slow songs are amazing. They are in the top 10. However, once you get to the top 5, all these are like the kick-ass rock songs. And number 3, I'm going to go Hey Johnny Park because it's amazing. It's such a good song. I definitely take Hey Johnny Park over Monkey Wrench any day as the hard rocker off Color and the Shape. Like, Hey Johnny Park's just so good.
I think I would agree with that for my number 3. That is definitely up there. I think I would maybe put Big Me as my number 3. Yep. And spoiler, I would probably put Hey Johnny Park as my number 2, because that is by far my favorite Foo Fighters guitar riff.
It's such a kick-ass song. It's not it's not as kick-ass as Stacked Actors, but it's still really kick-ass.
Yeah. But yeah, so Big Me is probably, that's a safe number 3 for me. I really like that song. It's a nice slow little tune to kind of sit and listen to. It's not like super overwhelming, which Foo Fighters is known for having very loud guitars, very loud rhythm section, which I love that, but their slow songs are quite good.
Unless it's Shame. It's good.
Okay, I like Shame. It is not great. I wouldn't say it is a bad song. It is not. It's like, coming from, it's a bit different.
Well, from what
I get what you're saying about it, but like, I would not. It's by no means like a bad song. I would just say it is the weakest of the 3 that we have heard so far, or at least that I have heard. I did not listen to the leak.
I have heard that Shame is the worst song on the new album.
I could probably assume that, to be honest. I've heard like the little audio clips on Instagram, which those all sound really good. I only listened to the first song off the album when you sent me the leak. What was it called? Do you remember what the first song was?
Making a Fire.
I listened to that one. I really liked that song. Making a Fire was quite good.
Well, yeah. So I haven't really delved into the album. I listened to the singles and I tried one of the songs that leaked. I tried to stay mostly away. how I mean, I'm always tempted by the leak. You know, I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna get in there,
Yeah.
but then I kind of feel bad once I download it and don't listen to
Yeah,
it.
it's one of those things. I think with like when we were listening to Father of All,
Well, I
which
didn't
I
feel
mean,
bad when
it
we
wasn't a
listened to
good
Father of
album.
All.
It wasn't a good
No,
album, but
here's
like
the
I
thing with
feel like
Father of All when it leaked is I bought it when it leaked because it leaked from Walmart. It didn't leak on like it leaked online, but I bought
yeah.
the vinyl at Walmart because they put
Well,
it out
also
like 3 weeks
here, let me
early.
put it this way. I think let me swap out Father of All for Gigaton by
Give it
Pearl
time.
Jam. I think my experience come the day that it was released because I was really excited for that. I think the fact that I had listened to the album prior to that, I feel like I was just kind of like, well, a
Leaks
little underwhelmed when I had already listened to it. I think part of the excitement is waiting for the actual release date.
leaks kind of take away from the I mean I didn't listen to Fear Inoculum when it leaked. I I will admit that I did listen to Gigaton when it leaked a lot, but that was different because I am impatient. We did listen to Father of All when it leaked, and it was, I mean, that's
Which I
different.
mean, that really didn't improve my improve or
It doesn't
unimprove
improve
my
the experience.
album experience. It just it was
Mhm.
a very
But I
it
feel
was a
like
very okay album in my opinion. It was just like, eh.
yeah, the thing with leaks with Gigaton and this album, um, it's you get more tempted when you're just stuck at home. You know, with quarantine,
Yeah.
like I wanted, um, and with this album in particular, with Medicine at Midnight, even though I have heard the Instagram clips, I heard like 2 songs off the actual album besides the singles. Um, I this album was supposed to come out last year, and I consider it an album that was like it was supposed to come out like a year ago from now. Like I think it was supposed to come out like scared the shit out of you. Okay.
We can cut this. Give me a second.
We don't um no, but like this album was supposed to come out last year. I'll just talk to the audience now. And I mean, I was tempted by the leak. I didn't listen to the whole thing, obviously, but I mean, yeah, it's leaks are not good. Don't listen to leaks because they they just I don't know, like you said, it removes some of the experience of first listening to the album. Um and it's not very fun. But what I was saying before about Gigaton, in quarantine, I just needed that extra piece of something to get me through that shit. So Gigaton really, I wanted to wait, but I had to listen to it because it's Pearl Jam, and of course.
All right. So where
Okay.
were we?
Well, I think you did 3 was big. All right, so we're moving on to
3
2.
was Big Me. 2.
All right, so this is 2. I'm probably gonna cut some of that stuff out that we just talked about. I don't know, because Brendan's dog started barking. I don't know. It's pretty funny, but so we might have just talked about 3. I don't know where I'm gonna cut that at. I might have talked about Shame for a sec. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But my number 2, Walk. I know now that this is your number 1. Spoilers, but because you said, "Hey Johnny," I already knew it was your number 1.
Yes.
But Walk, I mean, it's Walk. There's no good way to explain it other than listen to it. It's very good. It's Walk. And I don't know. That's the best I can put it because it's just such a good Foo Fighters song. And I feel like this song out of anything this is the definition of Foo Fighters. This is the first song that I would recommend to anyone who wants to listen to them because it has everything about Foo Fighters. And I feel like each album has that one song that is the Foo Fighters song that is the most Foo Fighters sounding song. I feel like Walk is that off, either Walk or Rope. One of those is that off Wasting Light. And I feel like Waiting on a War is going to be that for Medicine at Midnight. That's the Foo Fighter song because it has the build up.
It's got the slow build up, the nice like clean guitar part or acoustic guitar part, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But
out of the 3 songs that released, it feels the most Foo Fighter.
Yeah.
I mean, you could argue that No Son of Mine does, but that just feels like, I don't know. It just feels like a rock song, not really super Foo Fighter-y. What's your number 2? Didn't you say Hey Johnny Park?
Hey Johnny Park is definitely my number 2. Like I said a little bit ago, it is by far my favorite guitar riff on any Foo Fighters song.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, who knows? Maybe that could change with Tonight.
I doubt it. I doubt it. Hearing, I mean, okay.
I'm optimistic. How about that?
Well, No Son of Mine, that riff is awesome. However, I wouldn't say the main riff is awesome in No Son of Mine. That breakdown though, the bridge, oh yeah, that's very good.
The solo in No Son of Mine is really good.
Oh yeah. I say we just get into our number 1. I mean, we know yours, but mine, I was tempted to put Walk. I was even tempted to put Watershed. Did not. My number 1's Arlandria. It's just for me. What I was saying about Walk, I feel like Arlandria is the perfect Foo Fighter song too. It's one of. I feel like Wasting Light is just full of those perfect Foo Fighter moments, and Arlandria is one of them.
I think that's a. I feel like, I mean, it's not like a bad choice. I feel like it's just kind of just an odd choice. I wasn't expecting it. How about that?
Well, you weren't expecting Watershed to be in my top 3 either.
That's also true. But as we've established, for me, my number 1 song is definitely Walk. Walk is by far my favorite Foo Fighters song.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the combination of just the fact that it's already a good song, and the first time I heard it was with the music video. The music video awesome. For it is so good. If you haven't seen it, definitely go watch it. It is so funny.
So those are our favorite songs, and we can move on to the last thing to talk about, which is just getting hyped for Medicine at Midnight. One thing that I found extremely disappointing was the music video for Shame Shame, because usually Foo Fighters music videos are hilarious. And
because their whole thing was like they're serious about the music, but they're not serious about the music videos. And that is always, they just like to, like, the thing I've seen like with a lot of like independent bands or like just bands that are like friends doing just whatever they want. When they make music videos, it's a lot of just like screwing around and seeing what it's funny. It's not supposed to be like some super dark, deep art piece.
And that's what the Shame Shame music video was. Now, I feel like Shame Shame isn't the song to have a funny music video for. That's the thing. No,
yeah, there's definitely Foo Fighter songs that like they don't need to have like a funny, like, but like they're fun, like fast rock songs.
No. Yeah, but neither of us have heard the whole album, but based on the teasers, based on the other 2 singles, Shame Shame was the worst possible and based on the reviews I've heard, Shame Shame is the worst possible song to have as the lead single. Like, I mean,
I guess I have yet to see, but I mean, I did not dislike it as much as you.
No, I don't dislike it. I mean, it seem like I do, but for a lead single, like, go with something. I mean, based entirely on the teasers, go with something like Making a Fire, or even, I mean, based on the full songs we've heard, go with whole No Son of Mine, or even Waiting on a War. But I feel like, they just took a wrong step by making Shame Shame. Like, I know you like the song, and so do I, but you have to agree, like, that's not lead single worthy, especially after having to wait a whole year from, like, that they kept talking about the album, waiting a whole year until we got to hear something from it, and then it's that. I don't know.
Yeah. Which, I mean, especially since, I guess, at least for us, I guess with the bands that we listen to, this was like the first major album of 2021.
Well,
which I'm not. It depends on like your taste. It depends on your taste. Like, it's the first, I mean, I don't know how many artists have already released albums at this point,
but it's the first major album that we knew about, because I did not know that OK Human was coming out. I completely spaced, and
that
then it showed up
is true.
that
I didn't know about that until like it came out. I saw an ad for it on Instagram. That is how I found out about it.
I even like being partially a Weezer fan, I still had no clue it was coming out, nor did I like even think, oh yeah, where's that new? I think exactly what I did.
Well,
Someone
because
mentioned
I had already heard that Van Weezer got shelved
so,
until like
but
after COVID, and I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, well, that sucks. Oh well.
but I think someone mentioned something about Weezer, and then I was just like, hey, weren't they teasing a new album when Father of All came out? And then I looked and I was like, oh, there's a new album out. And I was like, but where's all the songs that they released? And I was like, oh, this is something different. Okay. Then I listened to it and I was like, oh yeah, this is good. But I mean, apparently there was a single for it, and apparently it had been teased. I don't know.
I mean, I like Weezer, but I don't follow them that closely.
No, it's not like
So,
Foo Fighters or Pearl Jam where I have
yeah.
notifications
I think
on
the
for
only
their
reason
Instagram.
the only reason I even knew about like the Van Weezer stuff was because of them
Hella
doing the
Mega,
tour with Green Day,
Hella Mega
and
tour.
B, I probably heard I don't even remember what they were called. The song was
End
called
of the Game or something.
End of the Game. End of the Game. I heard it on like the radio or something. I didn't even know about it until I heard it on the radio.
I heard, and we keep going away from Foo Fighters. Sorry about that, but I
Yeah.
heard last thing about Weezer. Rivers said that he was sad that Eddie Van Halen did not get to hear, because they had to shelf the album. He was sad that Eddie Van Halen did not get to hear his tribute to him. So that's pretty. I mean, that was kind of
That
hurt.
That
when he
is
said
kind
that.
of
That hurt.
I did not hear about that.
It was in an
but
interview he did.
That is kind of depressing.
So I think we just get straight. What do you want from Medicine at Midnight? What is the number one thing you want for the album besides it not sucking? Like, what do you want?
So I want it to have a like a good mix of like the slow songs, because their slow songs are some of their strongest songs. I don't want it to be like all like super hard, like loud guitar stuff. I want to have like songs like February Stars, like These Days.
And I don't think that it's gonna be all rock songs. I mean, especially
because we got Shame Shame. We already know that it's
teasers. And I don't think they have a single album that's all just hard rock. I mean, you could kind of argue that the debut is, but it has Big Me, it has For All the Cows. But those, I mean, I don't know, but everything, is a good mix most of the time. Even Color in the Shape,
Yeah,
or not Color in the Shape.
I would just say, which I don't want it to be exactly like it, but if it like, as this is both of our favorite albums, I feel like I would want it to be like as similar to Wasting Light without it being just Wasting Light Part 2. I want it to have like those same qualities in the instrumentals and just the production quality. I just don't.
Yeah, and I feel like
I don't see it being that similar. I think it's going to be a pretty unique album for them. It's not going to like be like, oh, well, this sounds like blah 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 album. I feel like it's going to have its own unique sound based on the three that we've heard.
Yeah. And I feel like each song is going to to be kind of different too, because the three songs that we heard, like
they're all very
different. But so with I just want it to be, and going back to Wasting Light, I want it to be the best album since Wasting Light, and I've heard that it is. But that's not hard to do. All you got to do is top Concrete and Gold. And I just fucking voice cracked. I don't know what that was. All you got to do is top Concrete and Gold and top Sonic Highways. And that's not a hard task to accomplish. No. Just don't be worse than Sonic Highways and you're good. You're a good album. I mean, Sonic Highways is not bad, but just don't be Sonic Highways Part 2. Be Wasting Light Part 2.
And especially, I really want, because with all the talks that you hear from them about them, like the burnout that they have, and they're like, after they're done touring for an album, they're just like, all right, that's it, I'm done. And then they like kind of like, it's like, you know what, I think I'm gonna write another. So I feel like, especially now that we know that we are getting a new album, and had they ended on Concrete and Gold came after Sonic Highways, right?
Concrete and Gold was 2017.
Yeah, I was, for some reason I got that confused.
Mhm.
But I feel like if Concrete and Gold would not, I feel like they would be kind of sad if that was their last album. It wouldn't be like a strong album to end on. So
Foo
like
Fighters,
for all we know, I don't know if it will be, but for all we know, this could be their last album with all the talks that they have about, especially Dave talking about like I'm not like I want to like just
well,
chill for a while. I'm kind of done with like the whole rock touring,
well,
all that.
Dave's also the same guy who keeps saying that we're like your grandparents. We're not going to get a divorce now. I mean,
That is
um,
true. I don't see them doing it anytime soon,
yeah,
but
that's Foo Fighters don't scare me as much as Pearl Jam because Pearl Jam is
no.
literally the type of band that is going to be like just one day be like, we retire, we're done. Like
Yeah,
no
that
final
was
tour, no like Rush, they're going to be like that. We're done. No final tour, no final album, just hey guys, it's
and
over.
then yeah, and then maybe like some 30 years down the line they'll have a reunion show or something,
No,
reunion
I don't
tour.
I Pearl Jam
Probably
is
not.
no,
Pearl
Pearl
Jam
Jam
doesn't strike me as the band to do like reunion tours.
like
Like I feel like once they're
Kiss,
done,
they're not
they'll be
like
done. No, because Kiss will milk that. They'll milk their friggin' franchise for all it's worth.
they'll milk. Well, I mean,
They are the most marketed band like of all
yeah,
time.
and specifically because Gene Simmons is an asshole.
Well,
But
yeah.
uh, um, no,
I
Pearl Jam.
hold that thought. I need to plug in my iPad.
Yes. I'll just keep talking real fast. But Pearl Jam is literally the type of band that is gonna be like, all right, that's it. We're gonna close out. Gigaton was our last album. Maybe we'll do the tour when COVID's over. But they're gonna be the band who's just gonna be done. I don't think Foo Fighters will do that. Foo Fighters will go out in a bang. Like they're gonna be like, guys, this will be our last album, and they might finally give the fans what they want and give us like another Wasting Light, bring Butch Vig back to produce, but they're not gonna just be like call it quits like Pearl Jam will. I think. I don't know. Pearl Jam could do like a grand final album, which I don't think Gigaton will be their final album. I know they are going to make another album. I mean, it's just it's what they're probably gonna do. But if Gigaton happened to be their final album, and River Cross was the last song that Pearl Jam ever made together, well, they released Get It Back after, but Get It Back was recorded during that session. Let's pretend that. But if River Cross was really the last Pearl Jam song on an album ever, I think that's a good way to close out your 30-year career, because River Cross is fantastic, and if that were the last Pearl Jam song, I'd be fine with it. And if Medicine at Midnight has a fantastic last song, then if that happened, if this happens to be the last Foo Fighters song or Foo Fighters song, okay, fine. But I hope both of these bands go on for at least another 10 more years, or they end up like the Rolling Stones and just never stop.
Yeah, I feel like based on I didn't hear all of what you said because I was getting a charger, but I feel like if they were to quit, I feel like they would definitely go out with a bang.
Like,
They're
yeah,
one of
that's
those
what I said.
bands. Yeah, they're one of those bands. Like they have such a unique history to them that.
But they wouldn't go
I feel
out.
like to just be all of a sudden like, yeah, by the way, this is our last album.
They won't
Sorry.
do that. And
no, there's going to be a lot more fanfare to it than that.
Because it's Foo, and that gives me a sense of comfort that we'll know when it's coming. Pearl Jam does not give me that sense of comfort with some of the stuff they've done.
I feel like of all of them, if they knew that would be their last album, they would probably say, "Yeah, this is our last album."
Who, Foo Fighters or Pearl Jam?
Yeah, Foo Fighters. Foo Fighters.
Yeah, because any band that releases Riot Act can just be like, guys, we're done. Like anyone who's gonna be like, Riot Act's a bad example because it followed up Binaural, which was already a weird album. Let's go. Any band that can follow up Vitology with No Code can just suddenly be like, yeah, we're done. Like they can just surprise us like that. Foo Fighters, no, they're gonna be like, all right, guys, we're gonna do a giant tour. Last time, go everywhere. But they're not going to be like Kiss, where they're going to do 7 end of the road tours.
Yeah.
Like,
because I feel like even now, Kiss is definitely going to continue to do stuff, which, as unfortunate as that is, that they're going to continue to
I know you
tour.
Don't like. I might. Well, I'm gonna wear my Foo Fighters shirt tomorrow because we got the album out and I gotta celebrate. However, I was digging through my closet and I happened to pull out my shirt that I got at the End of the Road tour that I went to, the show that I went to.
Burn it.
No, okay. The show was good. The spectacle of Kiss and the lighting.
No, yeah, that's the thing though. I don't, as much as I like to hate on Kiss, I like the rest of the members of the band. I have no issue with. It's just Gene Simmons irritates me so much that I can just not listen to them, and I don't care.
I like 70s and I don't like 80s Kiss. 80s Kiss just got whack. 80s Kiss just fucking took the makeup off and started making disco music, and I'm like, okay. I mean, some of it's fun, but I'm gonna back off now. And then they came back in the 90s and did pretty good. But like Gene and Paul, assholes. Ace Frehley seems like a genuinely nice guy, and so does Peter Criss, who are not in the band anymore. They filled their roles with other minions. That's the problem with Kiss. They cannot, unlike normal bands, you like see a different person behind the drum set, you're like, that's a different person. With Kiss, they can just make the guys wear the same makeup and be like, it's Ace and Peter.
Yeah.
With when Foo Fighters replaced Pat Smear in the 90s, this is like a huge deal. They're like, oh no, not Pat. But
because he announced his retirement on top of a building. He was just like,
well, then he came
this
back.
is the last song. Yeah, I mean, he came back, but he was just like, oh yeah, by the way, this was the last song I will ever play with them.
Even though this lineup, Dave Taylor, Pat, Chris, and Nate, even though this lineup has had the most inconsistent, because we go Wasting Light and then Sonic Highways and then Conquering Gold, and now we'll see how Medicine at Midnight is. Even though this lineup has had the most inconsistent album history, this is my favorite lineup of the band, having everyone from the whole history. Like Pat Smear is an amazing guitarist. Chris Shiflett's awesome. I mean, and Nate, Dave, and Taylor are always in the band no matter what. So
yeah, I don't see any of them, especially since at least Nate and Dave. I mean, Dave obviously, but like Nate, he's been there since like the beginning.
Well, yeah, so, I mean, I said Taylor, but Taylor
and
has not.
I guess Pat has kind of been there since the beginning.
He quit.
Well, yeah, he quit, but like Nate has been there like right after he finished recording the self-titled. He joined.
I believe Nate is the only member, excluding the self-titled, the only member who is on every album besides Dave, because Taylor doesn't start playing until Nothing Left to Lose. And even on There's Nothing Left to Lose, a lot of the drum tracks on there are Dave. Like only a few of them are Taylor. And then Taylor comes full force for One by One onward. But Dave and Nate are the only two who have been on every album besides self-titled. Dave has been on every album, including self-titled, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely going to Target tomorrow to try to get the Target exclusive version. I mean, I pre-ordered the vinyl and CD. It's coming from Amazon. But I want it. The Target exclusive looks pretty sick for this album. I don't know. Once again, I just want it to be like, it doesn't have to be as good as Wasting Light, and I feel like we won't get an album as good as Wasting Light until Butch Vig is producing again, like he did on Wasting Light. But I just want something better than the last two, like more consistent than Conquering Gold, more enjoyable than Sonic Highways, and maybe close to the quality of Wasting Light. That's what I want. Do I think it's gonna be my favorite Foo Fighters album? No. Do I think it's gonna be my least favorite? Probably not. But it should be. I mean, it's Foo Fighters. They'll always be enjoyable no matter what they put out at this point.
I think that's a good assessment.
Yes. I mean, there's not much else to talk about when it comes to Foo Fighters. This pre-party album release extravaganza, which wasn't really that extravagant. Let's just end on a couple. What's your favorite Foo Fighters music video? Walk?
Walk, definitely. Walk.
Okay, well, I mean, Learn to Fly is good, of course.
Learn to Fly is probably my second.
Jack Black, and I like the Low music video just for the fact that Jack Black and Dave Grohl with their fucking camera and their motel room. It's hilarious. Most of their music videos, not all of them, most of them are hilarious.
Run also has a pretty good music video.
Run is hilarious, except the music video for Run, I love it, but then at the end, may or may not have ruined the song a little bit for me, because every time that I hear the final like the outro, the like that part, I just see the old people dancing, like doing like TikTok dances, and I'm like, oh my god, like, I mean, but the old people vaping, that saves the video, because that just made it like, that's just hilarious. Like, but that's a good music video. I definitely prefer the funnier music. Everlong is a great music video. Monkey Wrench is fun, but I don't love. Oh, and Big Me, of course. Big Me is a great video, but I don't like the like super serious videos. Like,
No.
I mean, These Days is good, but it's really just the band live and Dave kind of hanging out with his family. That's pretty much the whole video. But I mean, Shame Shame was my least favorite Foo Fighters music video. That's for sure. It's kind of cool and atmospheric, but it wasn't like, I mean, it's not what I expected when I heard there's going to be a music video for it. And then, what's the other one that kind of got serious? I don't remember.
I mean, Pretender has not really a serious.
Pretender isn't like, it's not like comedic, but it kicks ass. That music video kicks ass.
It's a pretty standard, just like rock music video. It's just like
it has an American Idiot vibe to it, when all the.
It's just the band playing the song. It's not like some art piece
or some comedy. And then of course there's what's the other one that is really good? Breakout has a good music video. But what other Foo Fighters questions? I mean, you haven't watched the documentary, right?
I watched it.
Oh, what'd you think?
A little bit. Well, I watched it a while ago. It's really good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much it. Foo Fighters don't have like. Okay, here's the thing. I love Foo Fighters. I've seen them live. I'll address that. I mean, it's the best concert I've been to. Not okay. Well, they're the best. They're the best. Okay, I'll take that. Eddie Vedder was the best translating from album to stage, because you sounded the same. Because he said he. Foo Fighters were the second best. The best actual concert that I've been to was Iron Maiden, no doubt. That's my number one. Like,
because that's when they have a very good stage presence. They don't just perform their songs. They like put on a whole friggin' show when they do it.
Bruce Dickinson used flamethrowers. It was bad.
Yeah, and he fights the dude in the big giant costume.
He fights Trooper doing Trooper. He fights Eddie with the Trooper costume. And I miss concerts so much. I mean, okay, well, I forgot to mention Tool. That's probably my real number one. The second time I saw Tool. The first time I saw Tool was good, but we had nosebleeds. Second time we were up close. We could see everything, and they played my favorite Tool song. Well, second favorite. Rosetta Stone kicks ass, but I mean, The Patient's pretty good too. But Foo Fighters was a great concert. And the Foo Fighters live stream, which, speaking of that, I'm going to grab that. I'm going to pause the recording real fast, folks. Okay, so I still haven't gotten a frame for it. I probably will soon, maybe today or so. This thing's fucking beautiful. I just got to say it. Look at that. It's from the live stream. It's actually numbered. Like, I didn't even realize that I was buying it as numbered. So there were 1,580 of these that they sold, and I got number 1,397. But this was probably my second favorite live stream that I watched. Did you buy tickets for any live streams during the pandemic?
The only one that I did, because it was the same day, and I didn't know about the Foo Fighters one until I had already bought the tickets.
Yeah, what was this one?
Metallica.
The
Metallica acoustic one, which actually
was good.
That was really good. They did a cover, like a heavy cover of House of the Rising Sun, which I really enjoy.
Well, my cat is coming in the room now. He pushed the door open. My favorite live stream was Primus, specifically because they played like 4 songs they hadn't played since 2000. No, 2 songs they hadn't played since 2000 and one that they had never played, all 3 off Antipop. They played Lacquerhead. That was good. Lacquerhead was good live. However, the Foo Fighters one is probably my second favorite, specifically because it was the only one I watched that was actually live. Like
it
it was
wasn't
an
just
actual
like a
live
pre-recorded.
Because
That's the thing about like the Pearl Jam ones that I see. That's like a live stream. It's like that's a show you did 30 years ago.
Yeah,
well, not 30 years, but like this
2018. Thing. Well, I have bought tickets to all but one of those Pearl Jam live streams. I am a shill. You obviously can't see the room back there, but if you saw that room,
I've seen it.
You've seen the room. But they they're doing old concerts, 2018, 20. I think one of them was 2016. They're great shows, but they're not, live. I want a real Pearl Jam live stream playing Gigaton songs. Like, do they not remember that they have a new album that I want to hear live?
I guess.
I mean, we've heard Dance of the Clairvoyants.
I guess you could say this counts. I mean, it wasn't something that I bought because they did it for free. It was the Save Our Stages live at the Troubadour.
The Foo Fighters one, yeah.
Yeah, the Foo Fighters one.
Yeah,
I watched. That was a really good performance.
That was good. I watched.
I mean, it was a pretty standard set list, but they were all really well performed.
The live stream set list with the poster back there that I have, that set list was very traditional Foo Fighters set list. They played Make It Right, which I thought was cool because it was good. But it was, although it was one of my favorites because it was actually live, it was also kind of disappointing because the set list was not very good. Like, I mean, I'm paying, I think it was $10. I'm paying $10 for something that isn't like actually, I mean, it's live, but like, act like I'm so, and I don't know how to explain it. So I'm paying $10, play some songs that you haven't played for a long time. Gives you an opportunity to do that. Like in a live setting with all the lights and stuff. Sure, yeah, they have to keep the same set list most nights because the stage is hard to set up and stuff. The only band that I know besides, I mean, there's other ones, I don't know who, but the only band that I really know that does a different set list every night is Pearl Jam. Most other bands, they keep one for the tour, and then sometimes they'll mix up, throw a couple songs in there, but the only band I know to actively switch a set list every single night for a concert is Pearl Jam. However, back to what I was saying, the live stream format gives you the opportunity to play songs, because you have a long time to rehearse for it rather than just a day, and you don't have to deal with all the stage setup and stuff. So it gives you opportunity to play a couple songs that you have either never played live before or haven't played live in a long time. Which is what Primus did, and that's why Primus was awesome, because they played anti-pop songs, which they refused to play for the longest time. But I feel like that was just, Les Claypool got sick of hating the album and wanted to squeeze a couple in.
Well, one thing I do respect, kind of on that subject, is with the Metallica acoustic stream that I did. Like a week before it, you were on like a text list if you bought the tickets, and they would send you like a little thing. It was like, what song would you like to hear? It's like,
What'd you put?
I put The Day That Never Comes. I feel like that would be, no, they did not. And for all I know, they didn't use any of those.
Didn't they play Bleeding Me? Didn't they play Bleeding Me?
They did play Bleeding Me, but I don't remember if that was, I don't know if I think you're thinking of Wasting My Hate. I know they played Wasting My Hate.
Well, I feel like Bleeding Me was on the set list I saw too. But either way, it seemed like a song that they would not normally pick to play live, which made me feel like it was probably something that was requested. So they actually probably did use those. But yeah, I like the live streams because it gives a sense of, the concerts again. But I just wish that some of them were handled better, especially the Pussifer one for the album release, because that one was not very great. Which, on that subject, Maynard has COVID again, but second time.
Unfortunate.
I'm sad. So yeah, that was the Foo Fighters extravaganza. This is where the Foo Fighters talk ends real fast. I would just like to discuss the Weezer album. And I feel like this is going to be a running theme throughout the podcast where every episode I'm going to ask about the new Weezer album. Brandon, give your honest opinion on the new Weezer album.
I think it might be my favorite Weezer album.
Good choice of words. I agree. As a not
it
a
was
huge
it
Weezer
was
fan,
really good. It was a pleasant surprise for 2021.
pleasant surprise,
it wasn't.
Yes.
I went into it not really expecting anything because I didn't know anything about it until like that day.
I went into it expecting it to be hot garbage. No joke. I went into it.
And I'm honestly surprised that you even listened to it. You probably only listened to it because it said "Okay, Human." You're like, Radiohead funny.
No, I was genuinely interested. I was like, okay, well, worst case scenario, it's terrible, and I have something to make fun of for the next 100 years.
Yeah, and I mean, it was only like a 30-minute album, so it's like,
it was
30 minutes.
I mean, I feel like here's the thing with this. So it was better than Father of All. We can both agree on that, which is disappointing.
That's not a hard task.
It's disappointing that Weezer released a better album than Green Day. But Father of All will give us one thing and one thing only. And that is the fact that on my deathbed, my son will be standing by the bed holding my hand. Dad, what are your final words? Father of All is a shit album. Those will be my final words. Mark, I swear.
No, another thing that Father of All gave us was that clip of Billy Joe on like Ellen or some shit where he just his tooth was gone.
Oh yeah. Oh no, the tooth missing. Well, no, that was just black paint. Was
it black paint?
Yeah.
I honestly thought like his tooth fell out.
I thought you were gonna say that the performance of on there was terrible.
That performance of Oh Yeah was horrible. Just yeah.
Not that performance of Oh Yeah. Every performance of Oh Yeah, including the one on the album.
Oh Yeah. No, the album, because when I heard that on the album, I was like, oh, this is actually good. And the more I listened to it, the more I hated it.
It reversed. I remember talking about that with you. It reversed what the other two songs did. The other two songs grew on me. Oh Yeah progressively got worse as I listened to it. Oh Yeah was probably one of the worst songs on the album. Even though, I mean, I think when we first heard it, I mean, you might not have thought this. I thought this. Because I was like, wait, Billy Joe's not singing like fucking garbage pop like anymore. Like he's singing like normal Billy Joe. And then I kept listening.
He had like he has a very weird falsetto, which I mean isn't horrible. It was just like out of nowhere. I wasn't like I've never heard him sing like that before.
I was listening to
which I mean I didn't hate it, but like it was just I
hated it. But
which actually, I guess back on the topic of Foo Fighters, unless you have anything else to say on that subject.
Nope,
I was gonna ask, since this is the Foo Fighters pre-album extravaganza after all, are we going to go back to recording late? And I mean, you can cut this if you want, but like after the album's out, are we gonna like thoughts, or is that gonna be like a separate thing entirely?
If it comes out at 9. And like I see that it actually came out at 9.
I have a feeling it will come out at 9 because Spotify, I don't think you can have it do that.
Well, no, it's time zone, but I don't know what's going on, what time zone they're doing. I feel like usually in Arizona, but I'm not sure around this time because most albums that I know from listening when they immediately drop have come out in the summer. So I don't know what with this stuff. I don't know, but the Pussifer album I listened to right when it dropped, and I feel like that one was 9. But if it doesn't come out at 9, then we will do a separate podcast on it. If it comes out at 9, maybe we'll do quick discussion. But I mean, it's only a 30-minute album, something like that. So it can. What's with 2021 is going to be like all short fucking albums. Like
it turns out the possible Metallica albums like 27 minutes. They do the Green Day formula.
Wait, is this that's a joke, right? You didn't
no, that's a joke. It's completely a joke. I don't even know if there will be a Metallica album this year. There might be a single, but I doubt there will be a full album.
I feel like the longest album, if it comes out this year, Red Hot Chili Peppers are doing a double album. I'm calling it now.
So is that confirmed to come out this year, or
they're current?
Do we just know that they're working on it?
They're in the studio. and that could mean a number of things. That could
That could
mean we
mean
heard
it
the
comes
first.
out 10 years from now.
That could mean they're going to be in the studio for a long time. Based on so Stadium Arcadium, I'm going to base it on that, assuming that it could be a double album. I'd love a fucking triple album. That'd be amazing. Make up for the lost years, John. Make up for the lost many years that you were gone, and release a triple album.
It turns out the new album is just a reworking of all the songs that he wasn't on.
If they release something like that, like with a new album, I would not mind that. I love the Josh stuff, but I mainly would love a John reworking, because then Chili Pepper fans could shut the hell up about not liking those albums.
No, John's not on it.
That's
Bad
literally
album.
what. I would love to hear a new Marilyn Manson album this year, right? Wait, what was that? Hold on, let me check the news real fast. I would love. Okay, here's how Marilyn Manson's new album's gonna go. Right, the whole album is just like him crying.
I'm telling you, yeah, it's all just him crying.
And then the last, no, all you hear.
It's gonna be slam poetry. I feel like it's just gonna be slam poetry.
And then the last song just like goes into a chaotic spiral, right? And then at the end, it's just a gunshot, and then the news comes out that Marilyn Manson killed himself, and that's his career.
It'll be like, no, and then you can like as a bonus track, you can insert the song from Clone High, where he sang about the food pyramid. But yeah, that whole thing
is whack.
I
feel like the saddest part about it, it's not sad, it's disgusting. The saddest part about it is that these women actually went through this, and they were, and now they're being victim blamed by the Manson fan base, and it just pisses me off.
I completely agree. It's like, because a lot of people are comparing it to the Johnny Depp stuff, which there was very substantial evidence that Johnny was the one being abused. It's like, is it innocent until proven guilty? It's like, well,
in this scenario,
there really isn't. Like, I agree kind of with what you said. You're like, it's like, well, what do they have to gain from coming out now? It's like, it's not like the dude is like getting more popular all of a sudden. If anything, he's getting less popular.
He's getting less popular. His music, okay, to be fair, his music was on the rise. Like, his last 3 albums were extremely good. However, they have nothing to gain, especially since everyone who has come out is already a celebrity. It's not like these are random girls. A majority of the ones who have come out against him are already actresses. So what? I mean, the fans who are
I'd like to assume that he's innocent, and who knows, maybe there will be some bombshell piece of evidence that blows this case wide open and turns out he's completely innocent.
He's not.
But until that happens, I'm gonna try to stay impartial on it. I have a feeling all of the accusations are true, but
yes,
and innocent until proven guilty, I suppose.
Here's the I'm sorry to the listeners out there, because we talked about this last episode, but I just want to get new opinions on everything. But I think I don't know what I was going to say. A lot of people who were working with him at one point are coming out against him. Limp Bizkit guitarist, for example, Limp Bizkit guitarist Wes Borland, who is the only good member of Limp Bizkit, the only member who is actually talented.
What do you mean? Fred Durst good.
Fred Durst
He's singing brick stuff, chocolate starfish and hot dog water.
And Nookie. Did you do it for the Nookie?
No, shut up. Stop. I hate that band so much.
Okay, yeah, so who doesn't? I said something about Nickelback in American History today, and the student teacher or whatever was like, hey, not the worst band ever.
No, Nickelback good.
The student teacher.
Okay, side tangent, and we can cut like half this stuff out since it doesn't pertain to Foo Fighters. But
the podcast.
It can just be like you gotta stretch out that time, but like
it's probably already at least. It's got to be at least an hour now, right? I'm just trying to stretch it out to an hour. No.
Yeah. Well, anyways, actually, it'll show how long. Yeah, hour 17.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm gonna have to cut out the section with the dog. Okay, yeah. Well.
Yeah. Well, I doubt that was 17 minutes. So.
We'll see.
Whoa, what was I saying about
You were going on a side
Nickelback?
tangent.
Oh yeah, Nickelback. I feel like, and I absolutely despise Chad Kroeger,
Yes.
but they like I do respect the rest of them as like that Silver Side Up album. Like every goddamn song on that album was a like hit, like radio hit.
Yeah, and then
I respect that, but like at the same time, I mean, it's not for me. And I would say that if the internet did not exist, Nickelback would not get nearly as much hate as they.
Well, they would get as much hate, it just wouldn't be as widespread. You know, like everyone would still hate Nickelback. It just wouldn't be they have a platform to be like Nickelback sucks. Yeah. And
I mean, similar. I guess one good point that Chad Kroeger, I've heard him say in like an interview or something, he was just like, at this point, if people stop hating us, we'll know something's wrong.
Yeah. So I feel like in a similar way that you're saying about the internet, if I feel like if everyone snorted Sharpies and lost brain cells, they would probably enjoy Nickelback more, and there'd be less hate for Nickelback. Or not Nickelback, Limp Bizkit. My bad. But I mean, yes. I guess it could cut both ways. If more people had paint thinner.
I eat lead paint chips.
If more people ate paint, then Limp Bizkit would be less hated.
No, okay. If everyone had the IQ of Isaac.
Oh, Isaac. Sorry, you're not watching this. It's funny because Isaac likes Limp Bizkit too. So.
Girl, no.
It all adds up. Okay, so sorry for the side tangent, folks. Trying to stretch it out. Back to Foo Fighters real fast. Just closing statements. We are excited for Medicine at Midnight, of course, because it's new Foo Fighters. And, I mean, I think that's it. And
that's it for now, depending on whether or not the album does actually get released at 9 because of time zones.
Here's what I might do. For this.
I mean, throughout this whole thing, I've just been checking to see. It's like, well, who knows? Maybe it's already up, but last I checked, it is not. No.
I think what I'm going to do, I am going to take this. I am going to edit out that clip, and I'm going to upload it before the album is released. Then, once the album is released, I'll message you. I think we'll both listen to it.
You can edit videos after you've already uploaded them, can't you?
Yeah, but I can't. I don't think I can add an extra clip on afterwards.
I know you can take clips out.
You can take clips out, but you can't.
I don't know if you can add clips on.
So what I'm going to do is.
And just it can be like a little double special, and you can have like a 30-minute part 2.
That's what I'm gonna do. That was my plan. Review. So when we're gonna listen to it, it's only 30 minutes whenever it comes out. If it doesn't come out at 9, I'm gonna go to bed and we can talk about it tomorrow. If it comes out at 9, we'll do a quick review. Mm-hmm. And then
what I'm thinking we can do is we can if it does come out at 9, which you can. This is another part you can cut out if you want. But we can do one of those Spotify listening things. And I don't know if you still use Spotify.
I got Spotify back.
You can do one of those listening parties, and we can listen to it just at the same time, so we can like get thoughts on it.
Okay, yeah.
So it's not, so we don't have to like wait on the other person to have finished it.
Yeah, that's what and that way we're at the same time too, because when this podcast was, the first half was Foo Fighters Extravaganza. Everyone else clicked off now. They're done. This is just us ranting.
Yeah, for the 5 people that have seen it.
For the 5, I don't know. The last video got like 30 views.
30. Here, let's check. Let's check after my amazing Instagram story post. Let's see.
So did you put the link in your bio?
I did.
All right, it's got to have 1,000 views now. It's got to
39 whole views, 3 likes.
What?
God damn.
Okay, we're gonna get Yale on the podcast. I just gotta say that Yale.
We should, and then we can talk about the Who.
The Who or the HU?
HU. The Who from Jedi Fallen Order.
No, we get Lucas on to talk about the Who. Lucas is a huge Who fan.
I can't tell if does he actually genuinely listen to them? Like,
no, he just showed it to me hilariously. Well, we will. Lucas will be on the podcast, folks. To all the listeners out there, to all the watchers, Lucas. Everyone knows Lucas. He will be on the podcast at some point. Don't worry, folks. But so, what were we? Oh yeah, the Spotify listening stuff. It's not janky, right? It doesn't like lag or anything.
Not. I don't think so. I think it. I mean. Yeah, no, I don't think it has. Every time I've used it, I remember I used it with Ryan over a FaceTime call, and I could hear it on his through his audio, and it was pretty much synced up with mine.
When me and Lucas, when Fear Inoculum came out, we listened together, but not Spotify listening. The problem is I listened to the transition songs. Lucas did not, so he was like all the way like I was on like Invincible and he was already, well, no, it wasn't like that, but I was like on track 3 and he was already on Tempest and he was like, dude, and it's like,
it's so good. 15-minute song,
so good. The riff. Actually, I remember vividly I remember
this was before I even like really knew Lucas. I kind of like knew of him. Like I had seen him before. I didn't really know him, but we were in chemistry and I remember he saw that I was listening to something and he was like, "Oh, you like rock music or something?" And he was like, "So do I." And I was like, "Have you heard Tool album?" Because it had just come out.
Yeah.
Have you heard the new Tool Fear Inoculum? And it wasn't on Pandora yet because it had like just been released that day, and we were in chemistry. And I like tried looking it up and it wasn't there. So he was like insisting that I listen to it because he kept like, he's like, "Here, you can use one of my earbuds. You can listen with me." Yes. And at this point, like I didn't even know him, so it was just this random kid telling me, "Listen to Tool with me."
That was yeah, that but I just remember listening. I was on like Numa still because he also skipped Fear Inoculum, so he was like halfway through the album when I was on track 2 because every song is over 10 minutes, and he gets to just like he keeps like messaging me. He's like, "Dude, this song's so good." And then I was like, "Okay, Lucas, I just gotta let you know I'm not gonna be there for like another 30 minutes. Just keep going without me." But so wait, he literally just like, "Here, you can use one of my headphones to listen."
Yeah, he did that, and we got through like half of one song. I don't remember which song he showed me, but we got through like half of it before Miss Hubbard was like, "You need to take your earbuds out so we can focus on significant figures."
So what did Lucas? Well, here's what happens with Tool when I try to show it to someone. I'm sitting there. And it's like a 10-minute song, and there's the intro part. I'm like, it gets good soon. Just give it like 5 more minutes. And then 5 minutes pass. I'm like, just wait till the outro, dude. The outro. And then we get to the end of the song, and there's like, why the hell do I want to listen to a 10-minute song with 7 different parts in different time signatures with the Fibonacci sequence in it? Why do I care? And I'm like, but you don't understand the full mathematics of lateralis, dude.
Because two is so deep. It's
you just don't understand.
Only high IQ individuals
spiral out, homie. That's just
the hooker with the penis. High IQ
dude,
song.
You don't even understand the meaning behind hooker with a penis. So hooker with a penis is about a fan who's like, "Oh, Tool, you sell out, Tool, stop making bad music." And they're like, "Man, fuck you. That's hooker with a penis. You only get that if you have genius brain like me. Also, if you don't know the Fibonacci sequence, you know so the syllables in that around, so like black and white are all I see, right? And it goes around in a spiral. It just, my mind was blown when I heard that, dude." And that's Tool fans. Actually, Tool fans are the worst fans. Like me and Lucas are Tool fans, but I don't like associating with Tool. Like that's why you rarely like I have Tool shirts. Today was the first day I wore a Tool shirt to school.
I like how Tool has been around. They're not like a new band, but like all of a sudden they've gotten very popular.
Well, because they added all their music to Spotify.
Well, I didn't know that they hadn't already done that because I got into Tool somewhat recently.
Yeah.
So
I was following the whole saga for a good couple months before they added their music to Spotify because I had heard I think I had heard Schism before because of course, but I really started following them right before Fear Inoculum came out. Before their music got added to Spotify, I purposely downloaded YouTube Music so I could listen to Tool songs without having to have the screen on. But I mean, you just don't understand. Your brain is too small for Tool, man.
Big brain stuff.
Tool's only for people with big heads, big brains. That's why Isaac doesn't understand it, dude. Like when we're listening to it in the car this morning. That's why
Isaac listens to Limp Bizkit.
That's why Isaac listens to Limp Bizkit. I remember this is this morning. I was blasting Invincible on the way to school, and it was like the whole time. Like I picked up Isaac, we got to school, and Invincible was still going. It wasn't even over yet. Then you walk up to the car. We're going to Safeway. And we were talking, and Isaac was like, "Oh, that was Tool. That's why it was 10 minutes and the same thing over and over again." I was like, "Yeah."
I walked up to your car right as Isaac was just like, "Oh, that's why."
That's why it was 11 minutes long and never ended. I mean. This has gone off the rails. No more Foo Fighters.
Do we even really have anything else to talk about, or is that just about it? We've kind of wrapped up with the Foo Fighters stuff, and so
we could try to steer it back towards Foo Fighters. What?
I mean, I don't really have.
We don't have anything else to talk about with Foo Fighters. Like we got everything.
That's basically it. I mean, we got past an hour. This is good.
That's important. That's an important part.
Leave in the comments. What's your top 10 Foo Fighters song?
Everyone, comment down below. Do you agree?
Do you agree with our tier list ranking? If you agree, like. If you disagree, subscribe.
If
you have no opinion, ring that bell.
I should go. I could post a comment that's like, if you agree, comment down below.
Brody's
if you disagree, like the post.
Yeah, Brody's gonna hop on all his 15-second YouTube accounts so he can just like start spamming comments. Oh, this video's so good. Your Foo Fighter tier list so good. I agree 100%. Subscribing away.
Oh my gosh, we have the same top 10. No way, dude. No way. Dude, you like Watershed too? You put Watershed in your top 5?
Watershed in top 5? What?
I feel like if I post this on the Foo Fighters subreddit, which I probably will, I feel like I would have posted the last one on the Marilyn Manson subreddit had it not been for the fact that the subreddit is on lockdown and you can't even post on it.
No, yeah.
But I'll probably post this on the Foo Fighters subreddit, and I wonder how many people will come out. Man, you're so brave for admitting that Watershed's in your top 5.
Then I'll get all the comments if that were to happen.
Poser.
Hey, at least I didn't have. Wait, did I have Learn to Fly on my list? I don't.
Neither did I. I didn't have Learn to Fly. Yeah. Neither of us had any. We both had Everlong, but neither of us had Monkey Wrench.
Like, yeah, well, and even I went the extra, like I'm holier than thou way, and just I like the acoustic version.
In my personal opinion, the acoustic version, not the acoustic version on the Greatest Hits album. Specifically this exact performance.
Acoustic version from this performance at this date. I'll post the link. You can check it out.
The acoustic performance on the Howard Stern show. Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, and then because I didn't have Watershed in my top 10, poser, you are poser,
big me in your top 10, and not Watershed. No. I was tempted. I almost put I'll Stick Around in my top because that.
Which I mean, that's the thing though, because the thing about Foo Fighters is they are. This isn't a diss against Foo Fighters, but they are the most mainstream rock band of all time. At least, not of all time. I don't know about.
No, Metallica's the most
of our generation.
There was some kid who had to present in American History Today who was wearing a Metallica shirt, and I was the most tempted I had ever been to be like, name 5 Metallica songs. And just
you should have.
I was so tempted, dude.
Sandman.
I don't know any. I just wear the shirt because it looks cool. That I will always.
Well, actually, I like So What off of Garage Inc. That is my favorite Metallica song.
Yeah. No, I feel like I just want like one girl who's wearing a Metallica shirt. If I walk up to them like, excuse me, miss, name 5 Metallica songs. I just want them to come over and be like, that's a good question. King Nothing. That's I don't know. That's
it's
not even
only
a deep,
stuff off of Load and Reload.
Load and Reload. No, that's not even King Nothing's not even a deep track. They come in, they're like,
no. King Nothing was
Invisible
a good
Kid.
song, though.
Invisible Kid's my favorite Metallica song, by the way. No.
I like their cover of Die Die My Darling. Which actually, I really do like that cover of it. I prefer it to the original.
My personal favorite Metallica song is actually, I don't know, dude. Like, it's so hard to pick just one, but my personal favorite, I gotta go with Whiplash, too. Whiplash is perfection. Okay, but no, in all seriousness, Whiplash is perfection. Like, top 10 Metallica songs material.
Start to flow and touching all around.
Actually, the Motorhead cover of Whiplash, I'm not a huge Motorhead fan, but
no, it's Lemmy's, and I have huge respect for Motorhead, but like I'm not a fan of his singing voice.
Yeah, that's one of the with Primus. Les Claypool's vocal style is what makes Les
Claypool, and I talk like this.
It's what makes the band. It's what makes Primus. I could do with Motorhead.
My uncle talks like how Les Claypool sings.
Hey, oh. No, but like Primus without Les Claypool, even if Les Claypool played bass, but vocalize, Primus with a good vocalist is not Primus anymore. It's a different band with Les Claypool playing.
Sucks, and that's why they're good.
The point of Primus is that
I don't even like Primus.
I know you don't like. I am a massive Primus fan.
I don't hate them. I'm just like indifferent.
I would go as far to put Primus at number 3 of my favorite bands. Like, no joke. I put them over Tool and Green Day. Like, I adore. Some days they go number 2. Some days they go hard number 2. But Foo Fighters usually stay at number 2. Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's so hard to pick 5 bands, dude. I mean, do we both have Foo Fighters in our top 5? Do you have Foo Fighters in your top 5? No. Did we do our top 5s? I think
Foo Fighters might be. Are we gonna add our top 5s to the end of this?
Why the hell not?
just to close it out, just to be like kind of like an intro, since this is the second episode of the Rockcast podcast.
Rockcast. Ew. That's what the first episode we did. Me and Miles were like that. I said something about.
I saw that you were talking about like what bands you listening to currently.
Well, that'll be in every episode. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and do that. I forgot that segment. But let's extend this out a little. Brendan, what bands are you currently listening to? I'm curious.
Well, Foo Fighters, obviously. I just finished listening to all of their albums again, just in preparation for today or tomorrow, depending on
what happens.
If time zones decide not to suck.
Screw us over.
Another band I've been listening to, which I sent you one of their songs, and you seem to approve.
Wait, no, it was one of the ones
Royal Blood.
No, I didn't. I said the riff was cool, but the voice annoyed me. Didn't I say that, or did I forget? No,
I remember you just saying the riff is cool, and you gave it like an 8 out of 10.
I don't think I did. Maybe
I don't remember, but the point is, you seem to think it was good. Which actually, they just released a new song called Typhoons. Typhoons by Royal Blood. Check that shit out. It's quite good. And their new album coming out this spring is quite good.
But Anthony Fantano put Royal Blood's new song in his he didn't like it. He put it in not good category of his weekly track roundup, and I only listened to Anthony Fantano's opinion.
Well, Anthony Fantano can go fuck himself.
Well, Anthony Fantano is the guy who gave Fear Inoculum a 3 out of Earth. Did he give it a 3 or it was something bad? He gave Fear Inoculum a 3.
How about this? Something that you can add to the podcast is what you can do is at the end of it you can recommend me a song and I'll recommend you a song, and at the beginning of the next episode you can that's a great idea. You can like say, I thought
this song was
so fantastic. I recommend Typhoons by Royal Blood.
This is a bad idea. I thought you were gonna recommend something like I don't know. I don't know what you're gonna recommend. Oh, I recommend something good. Okay, back to what we're. Okay, so we did what we're listening. Well, I didn't do what I was listening to. I'm listening to the same stuff I was listening to in the last episode. Anywho, Top 5 bands. You can go first, just to close it out in a nice way.
Top 5 bands, I think, because my top 5 changes a lot. So I think Metallica is always it's pretty cemented in my number 1 spot. I really like Metallica.
Okay.
I think second.
Poser. Dude, only real metal fans put Megadeth at their number 1.
I honestly am not like a big fan of Megadeth.
The new Megadeth album this year. Yo.
I remember hearing about that. When it comes out, I will listen to it, but like, I guess we'll see. Number 2, I think currently probably be Red Hot Chili Peppers. I've been listening to a lot of them recently.
Here's my thing with Red Hot Chili Peppers. They will be in my list. However, I feel like they have too many bad albums to really be like in the top 3 because they have
a lot of very like their first album. I wouldn't really listen to their first album just because I was like, I really feel like listening to True Men Don't Kill Coyotes today.
True Men Don't Kill Coyotes. If we did a top 10 Red Hot Chili Peppers song, I legit think that might be in there. Because I just like to do that.
All right, so where was I? I got Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's number 2. Number 3, I think, would maybe be I think Van Halen is probably my current number 3. And it's all very interchangeable. It changes all the time.
Yep.
Number 4 is probably Slipknot, which I know you disagree heavily with that, but I like them. And number 5 is probably Foo Fighters.
All right. Well, if you would have asked me this last week, Marilyn Manson would have been in the top 5. You ask me now? No, I'm gonna.
No, you know what? I changed that. Number 1, Marilyn Manson for me. I started listening to him at work the other day. He's very good.
I mean, I can separate art from the artist. This was what the whole podcast is about.
I can separate art from the artist. I'm not gonna listen to him solely because like I'm not that big of a fan. I listened to what was the album that I listened to?
Antichrist Superstar.
That was what I listened to.
Mechanical Animals.
No, I think I only listened to Antichrist Superstar while I was at work, and I enjoyed it. It was a good album.
His most recent album was extremely good.
I never really liked him that much to begin with. But now that we got like all this shit coming out about him, I'm probably not gonna listen to him that much. I'm not gonna wear my
Manson shirts. I just got
you can't wear your Marilyn Manson shirts anymore.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Manson would have been in my top 5. However, I will go ahead and replace him with Kiss. Because fuck you.
You deserve the death. No, is this Kiss, because I put Slipknot in my...
No, Kiss has too many bad albums to be in the top 5. Like, they're early out. Okay, if I was going like, okay, 70s Kiss in my top 5. 80s Kiss in my top 5 least favorite bands of all time. Like, I do not like any of that terrible garbage. Okay, but think for real, though. I mean... Number 1, I mean, we all know, but I don't have to even mention.
Yeah.
The Pearl Jam.
Have you heard the Pearl Jam?
Did you hear Gigaton? Did you hear Gigaton? I don't think you listen. Dude,
Eddie Vedder is God.
Eddie Vedder's so good. Okay, well, number 1's Pearl Jam. Number 2, I'm gonna go Eddie Vedder. He's my favorite. Number 3, I'm gonna go with Stone Gossard's new band, Painted Shield. They got, their first album was pretty good. Brendan is not amused with the guy. It's just
wait.
You see,
I zoned out for a second. What'd you say?
Well, I said number 1's Pearl Jam. Number 2 is Eddie Vedder. Obviously. Number 3 is Stone Gossard's new band Painted Shield. Number 4, I'm gonna go Jeff Ament solo albums. Number 5, Mother Love Bone. Number 6, they're in my top 5. No, but.
That about wraps up the podcast, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
I gotta finish my top 5 though. No, for number 2, I just gotta get this out. I debate between Primus and Red Hot Chili Peppers because Primus, every album sucks equally, so therefore I can put them in. They're very terrible, so I can put them in there. Red Hot Chili Peppers. Some albums are just good. Some albums are great. Some albums are Stadium Arcadium. I mean, Foo Fighters number 3. I don't know. This is stupid. Thank you guys for watching. Maybe there'll be a part 2. There will be a part 2. There'll be a part. Well, it'll be podcast episode 3.
And actually, before you end it out, I think I'm gonna switch Slipknot out with Alice in Chains. I approve. I've been listening to a lot more Alice in Chains recently. I still really enjoy Slipknot, but I wouldn't say they're in my current top 5. But like I said, that changes like daily. So
well, speaking of Alice in Chains, I have seen them live, and I saw them with Korn. I know you.
That
like
is
Korn.
such a weird combination, and I do like Korn.
Korn is good. Korn's better than Slipknot. Slipknot copied Korn.
I think
Slipknot
Korn.
Well,
they
Slipknot copied Limp Bizkit, and Korn copied Limp Bizkit. Limp Bizkit's just the creator.
Limp Bizkit is completely different. They're both considered nu metal, but that's about where the similarities end.
That's the thing with Korn compared to the other nu metal bands, and why I like Korn and don't like the rest. Korn was the creator of it, but Korn was taken.
And they weren't even really the creator of it. They were just the band that got popular first.
Yeah, but Korn was taken in by like the actual metal scene. Like Metallica took in Korn for touring, all this stuff. So Korn is considered nu metal now, but back then they were just metal. On the other hand, Limp Bizkit's just garbage.
That's just shit.
Rage Against the Machine could sneak into.
Yeah, I guess they kind of. I've seen. They're like groove metal.
Rage Against the Machine.
Funk metal, rap metal.
Don't say they're rap, or else Isaac will have a mental
Isaac
breakdown.
will kill me.
All right, before the podcast ends, one more story before I wrap it up. Basically, we're in the car driving around. This was before I got my Bluetooth adapter so I could play my phone in the car. And we happened to take a quick stop at Barnes & Noble, and they happened to have the Battle of Los Angeles on CD. Threw it in the CD player, and we were all vibing out. We were doing Sleep Now on the Fire. We played Guerrilla Radio, shit like that. We were just vibing, and we started talking about how this was rap or something, because Rage Against the Machine is rap metal. Isaac was sitting in the back, and he was like, well, no. And then we're like, yeah, it's rap. And then he started like shaking the car. Like, no, it's not! And then he got out of the car and slammed the door. And that's the story of Isaac having a mental breakdown because we said Rage Against the Machine was rap.
Yeah, I mean, they have rap vocals. I mean, I wouldn't consider them complete. It's rap metal. They have rap vocals.
But I explained to him, I was like, well, the crossover audience of Rage Against the Machine and Eminem, I have noticed in the subreddit that a lot of Rage Against the Machine fans are Eminem fans, and a lot of Eminem fans are Rage Against the Machine fans. So...
And Isaac very much likes Eminem, so he was very offended by that.
Yeah. But I think that wraps this up for now. That was a fun pod. All right, let's rank the podcasts. I think this one goes number 2.
S+.
No, but this one was fun to make, especially because I fixed the microphone. Unlike the last episode, where you would think at some point Mason finally came in. I think Mason waited until after we were done recording, but when he came in towards the end, he did tell me my microphone was whack. However, Miles just sat there and said nothing.
Yes, I agree with that.
I don't think Miles understood a word I was saying for the whole podcast. No.
I feel like Miles has very different tastes in music. He's like very like alternative. He likes a lot of like alternative stuff from what I can gather. Miles
liked like one Marilyn Manson song. He likes Sweet Dreams, his cover of Sweet Dreams.
Yeah.
No, but Miles is a Pearl Jam fan, partially thanks to me. Like everyone, Lucas became a Pearl Jam fan because of me. Isaac became a Pearl Jam fan because of me, and Miles became a Pearl Jam fan because of me. You're welcome. Miles knows like one Foo Fighters song, and he hates Metallica. I haven't introduced him to Megadeth yet, but it'd be interesting.
If he likes Megadeth and hates Metallica, I might have to punch him next time I see him.
Megadeth is more listenable than Metallica, or more like Okay, for someone like Miles, because Megadeth is more like. I mean, I don't want to say it like this, but Megadeth is closer to Primus, and Miles likes Primus. Megadeth. I'm not saying Megadeth and Primus are similar, but with the vocal style and the stuff like that, where it's not like
I suppose, but
for someone like Miles, I feel like Megadeth would be more accessible. Miles is a huge Yoko Ono fan, though.
Is he actually?
No.
Oh, so I was gonna say.
But we pulled up. This wasn't in the podcast, I don't think, but I feel obligated to pull this up now to see Brendan's reaction. This is the last, for real. Podcast is over. This is long. It's gonna take hours to upload. I'm not even gonna worry about editing because this is longer than last time, and literally my fucking last time. What am I trying to? I'm sorry, I looked something up. Last time when I edit, my editor is whack, like completely whack, and barely works. So I'm not going to edit this. That's all I have to say. I'm just going to leave in Brendan's dog barking and stuff like that because it's not. I mean, whatever. It's already going to take like 3 hours to upload to YouTube. So this, by the time this uploads, we'll be done recording the second part if we record the second part tonight. Anywho, just a good way to end out the podcast. Let me make sure I'm sharing sound. Just a great way to end out the podcast right here. Okay, here we go. Let's turn the volume up a little bit.
Oh no.
Thank you all for watching the podcast. We will see you next time.
What did John Lennon see in this woman?
She hits those power metal high notes, though. I gotta say.
Yeah.
That was, by the way, that was edited. She didn't actually sing the national anthem. She just put a piano version. But it doesn't matter that's the national anthem. It's just the way that she's being Yoko Ono. God, I don't know. She's a national treasure. Protect this woman at all costs.
She is a national treasure.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you in the next episode, which will probably come out. Well, here's my theory.
Maybe later tonight. It won't be a full episode. That'll be like a spin-off of this.
This episode will be uploaded as soon as. Here's the thing with Zoom. All right, it waits till the meeting ends to process the video. So we're gonna end the meeting and do that. And then it's probably going to take a good, like, at least 40 minutes to process the video. And then it'll take a good probably 4 hours to upload to YouTube.
For all we know, this will be live tomorrow. It
will. The last one I started uploading around this time, and it didn't upload till midnight. So we'll see. Thank you guys for watching. How long is it? You have the time on it, right? Because it doesn't show it on me. 150? Good podcast length. Sorry for boring you guys with random stories that don't matter. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next episode. This is the third outro I've had. And last thing, Coke Zero Sugar. I drank the whole thing. Thank you all for watching. Bye.